Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Thread. We have some exciting stories to bring to you today. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, so the first story that I want to discuss. First of all, this is my new sweatshirt. I love when people send
What is
me
LBA? What is
sweatshirts.
LBA?
LBA, it's Lakewood Basketball Association.
Oh,
It's one of the biggest sports leagues
really?
in Lakewood. They have basketball, volleyball, bowling. Like it's like LBA is one of the most popular things in
Yeah,
Lakewood, and they sent me some merch. So listen, if you want to send me merch, I will wear it 100%, especially if
really,
it's comfortable like this one.
really.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Maybe we'll get you one also.
yeah, you're starting to dress like John Fetterman. The
Am I? I think I dressed like John Fetterman before John Fetterman
the
dressed like John
guy
Fetterman.
he went to a news conference. Everyone, all the senators were dressed in suits and ties. He came in a sweatshirt and shorts.
Listen, he's a comfort dresser. I can relate to him. Before we get to our first story for the even for today, I want to remind everybody that tonight is the Siyam HaRambam. I myself, and I think perhaps you as well, will be in Crown
I'm gonna
Heights
try to do that.
starting at 7:30
Seven
p.m.
thirty.
on Eastern
Mm-hmm.
Parkway. Yeah, the whole thing will be closed off. Do you know there's gonna be Divrei Bracha from Rav Herschel Schachter, Moshe Elephant, the Chief Rabbi David Lau, Chief Rabbi Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef, Chief Rabbi Shlomo Amar. There's going to be Benny Freeman, Avram Fried, Ellie
Mm-hmm.
Marcus. It's going to be a massive event. I think there's going to be a greeting by President Isaac Herzog, President of
So
Israel.
what they said, they're setting it
So
up on Eastern Parkway in front of 770
yeah, Eastern Parkway is going to be closed off. So
between
maybe Uber
between
there.
Brooklyn Avenue and Kingston Avenue.
I don't know the lingo. But I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm going to be there. We're going to be vlogging for Meaningful Minutes. So we're going to put out an awesome vlog. And you can also watch it. If you're going to stay home, you can watch the entire event live on Meaningful Minutes YouTube channel. Just head to our YouTube channel, type in Meaningful Minute on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. You'll be able to watch it live as it happens. Okay, so our first story for today I want to talk about is Leo Dee suing CNN for $1.3 million.
So
So we all
hello,
know
billion.
I said
It sounded
billion.
like a million to me.
The first story I want us to talk about is Leo Dee, the man who lost two of his daughters and his
Right.
wife in a shooting attack in Israel,
Right.
is suing
Yeah.
CNN for $1.3 billion.
Right.
That is billion dollars. A story via JNS whereby Leo Dee is considering suing a CNN chief international anchor, Christiana Amanpour, for $1.3 billion after she, on May 11th, described the murders of his wife and daughters as a shootout, even though they were killed when a terrorist sprayed their car with bullets. There was no shootout. The terrorists attacked the Dee family. There was no gunfire in return. Dee announced the possibility of taking legal action during an event on Monday held by Rabbi Shmuel Bateach. Dee noted that the Dominion voting system sued Fox News and its parent company in a defamation suit for $1.3 billion. Dominion was awarded $787 million in a settlement on April 18th.
Right.
Dee said CNN's defamation of his family was far worse than Fox's defamation of Dominion.
Right.
Okay, so do you think? Listen, I think regardless if he wins the suit or not, no amount of money can bring back his family. But I think that it's all about in this situation, it's about tackling what is a grave injustice on the part of Christiana Amanpour
Well,
to say such a thing.
it's really unfortunately the words disinformation and misinformation have been misused more than anything else
Yeah.
over the last few years. But we forget how damaging it could be just floating out a story that hurts a family in such a way. And there's a few very troubling things about this story. Number one is, I think it was Chalamayit Pesach when they were murdered. Also near that now infamous town of Huwara, I think, or they were.
Yeah.
I think they were. No, I don't think they were in Huwara. I think they were in the
No.
Jordan Valley. That was somebody else, unfortunately. You see, but that's the whole problem. These things fade into the past. They remain a life-changing tragedy for the family, for Rabbi Leo Dee, and his remaining children. He has several more children. But as far as the people are concerned, as far as the news is concerned, as far as the community is concerned, it drifts off into history, and we don't live with it every single day like we did those first few days. But the family,
Yeah.
he's hurt. The family is hurt, And to have a reporter from CNN who has an agenda to always try to equate the Israeli army with terrorism, they want to draw a parallel between terrorism and the Israeli army. So she preferred to falsely report that it was a shootout between Israeli forces and Palestinians, and they
Yeah.
unfortunately got killed in the crossfire. And the additional suggestion is that maybe they were killed by Israeli guns. So that's the whole setup is, and that's where the hurt is inflicted, and that's where compensation, like you said, needs to be made because he can't get his wife and daughters back, but he should be compensated for the additional hurt that they have inflicted on him.
Yeah. It is worth noting in this article that um, Christiane Amanpour reached out to Leo Dee and apologized
Mm,
personally, which he rejected his apology, and he demanded a public apology, and she did do a public apology. She said on May 22nd's show, which was just
mm.
yesterday, she said, on April 10th, I referred to the murders of a British Israeli family, Lucy D, Maya D, and Rena D, the wife of daughters of Rabbi Leo D. During that live interview, I misspoke and said they were killed in a shootout
Mm,
instead of a
mm.
shooting. I've written to Rabbi D to apologize and make sure that he knows that we apologize for any further pains that may have caused him. That was her apology.
Well, he said he's not
Um,
accepting the apology. That's what he told Aretz
no,
Sheva this morning, that he's not accepting the apology. And, obviously she was forced by her management at CNN to issue that apology. So, that's no one's fooled by that.
so yeah, Rabbi Yaakov Menken took to Twitter and he said in response to her apology, he said, "If this were exceptional for Amanpour, I'd accept that she misspoke, but it's not exceptional. It's par for the course, and her tone and body language are anything but apologetic. This speaks for itself. If CNN calls this acceptable, then CNN is not. How did CNN not lay off a reporter that made such a big mistake that caused such pain to a family that was wiped out in a terrorist attack?"
Well, listen, CNN is struggling financially, very unpopular. Ratings are extremely low. They're trying to rework the whole presentation of news that they have delivered. And on top of that, she's one of their stars, and she's probably under a long-term contract, so they can't afford to get rid of her without paying her. So,
Yeah, I'm just saying, Alba, imagine, you take it back a few summers in the George Floyd situation. If a CNN news anchor went on there and said Floyd had a scuffle, he passed away in a struggle with police officers, as opposed to the police officer killed George Floyd, they would be fired and they would have to go into witness protection.
well, listen, that's because there's a leftist tilt in the country, and that's just the way it is. The Gemara says somewhere that there's more evil in the world than good, slightly more, not a lot, slightly
Yeah,
more. Because if it was even, there would be no challenge in life. If there was more good than evil, so the good would be winning. It also would be less of a challenge and a little bit more boring. But the fact that
yeah,
let's say it's 55% evil and 45% good, we got to struggle. We got to struggle to overcome the evil. And these people on the CNNs, I hope they don't sue me for libel, but the CNNs and the
mhm,
Christiane Amanpour, they represent that 55%. That's just a number that I'm picking arbitrarily. They
yeah,
represent the negativity and the difficulty in the world. So
yeah,
that's a Kadosh Baruch Hu's structure of the world, but Am Yisrael has to battle to overcome it, and that's what Eretz Yisrael is about. That's the sacrifices that are made by people like the D family, unfortunately, and other families that, if we sat here and tried to discuss all the families, if we sat here and tried to discuss all the families that were impacted by terrorism, we at this point, these 3 months later, we would be hard pressed to name all the families. Like let
100%.
the family from Ramot, the Paley family. Okay, see, I had to think for a second to get his name out of my mind. He just got
Exactly.
out of the hospital.
And how about that young boy that was killed in the bombing attack by the bus
What
stop?
about yeah?
You
Oh,
know,
that was a
like
long time ago. What about the 7 people that were killed coming out of that shul on Friday night? I
exactly.
don't even
It's
remember. I don't even remember where. Somewhere in northern Jerusalem. I don't even remember.
yeah.
Kiryat something or other. Kiryat Yaakov, I think.
Yeah.
You see, that's the whole thing. That's where evil has an edge over good. On the other hand, there's also people who tell you that God gave people a gift of forgetfulness, and not that you forget it, but that you have the power, you have the koach to push it someplace behind your mind, so it's not dominating you on every minute of every day.
Yeah. Well, before we get to our next story, I wanted to mention a big thank you to our sponsors from Sensible Marketing, Shimmy J, and the Sensible team, the best in the nursing home marketing world. And a big thank you to Shimmy J, who was just recognized just last night for giving a $100,000 donation
Really
to Miss Ameach in Lakewood.
great.
It's really an incredible partnership between Shimmy J, Sensible, and Miss Ameach to just keep on doing their incredible work. So, besides for them being uh, incredible pillars in the nursing home marketing world and incredible marketers, they also do for the community. So a big shout out to Shimmy, big shout out to Ron, Jeremy, and the entire
You
Sensible
know,
team. So the next story I have
I
here
you
is
I want
yeah,
something to say about you have a lot of very interesting sponsors and advertisers. That
I do.
I
Yeah,
don't
don't
hear
I?
about them anyplace else. They find you. They found you. They want your audience because they know you have a powerful audience, and you don't hear about them anyplace else because I consume a lot of media in the course of the day, and I see a lot of advertisements on all the Jewish websites and so on and so forth, and they're very very repetitious. But your
Yeah.
guys are like your guys, and once
Yeah,
they attach themselves to you, it's for life.
we're a big family and we take care of each other. That's all it
That Baruch
is.
Hashem.
The next story we have here via Yeshiva World News. And I saw this online last night and I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. And that is Uber with guns. The ride sharing
Mm,
service with armed drivers is seeking to come to New York City.
hmm
The article reads, it's no secret that New York City is being ravaged by violent crime. Now, a former bodyguard is looking to profit off of it by launching a ride sharing app with armed drivers.
hmm
The company, Black Wolf, is currently operating in Metro Atlanta area, and its founder Kerry King Brown says he wants to bring it to the Big Apple. He's quoted saying, "Who are mostly on the news getting robbed? The average person." Brown told Atlanta News First, "What I'm creating is a necessary evil. It's a necessity." And just a week after launching in the Atlanta area, the company's app was downloaded more than 80,000 times. Every Black Wolf app vehicle comes equipped with a GPS, tracking, and live streaming technology that allows our riders to share with their loved ones. The company says on its Facebook page, for an additional base fee, riders can request to specifically be driven by an armed individual. Black Wolf says all of its drivers undergo a background check and are required to take firearm training classes as well as learn de escalation methods. Okay, so something that I thought originally was a joke is totally not a joke. Supposedly, there is a need for a ride sharing app where the drivers are armed. It's almost like you can be driven in your own little secret service.
Well, are the windows and the windshield bulletproof too? Listen, if the windows aren't bulletproof, and you think you're going to get into a one-way gunfight and the driver's going to be the only one shooting?
I
I
don't
imagine.
know.
Listen, you gotta try to imagine what the scenario is where you're going to have where this is going to be necessary. If in Israel, I don't know the taxi cabs have bulletproof. I don't think they do, but I know some of the buses are
For
bulletproof.
sure.
But that's in Israel. Do you need that in New York? I don't know. I mean, where are the shootings in New York or in Los Angeles or I don't know where else they have gangs and things of that nature.
Well, listen. Apparently, it's a need in the Atlanta area because 80,000 people have downloaded the app so far there.
Okay,
So it's been a need
I
there.
think that if your driver is going to shoot somebody, he's going to have to stop and also give him his license and registration. I think it's going to have to make an accident report if he shoots somebody. it's,
This is
it's not it's not a joke,
how does an idea like this actually go to market? Like I've heard of better ideas that never really became
Well,
anything.
I guess there are executives that or people that are carrying valuables, and they want to have the police protection. I think the idea behind it is to make the potential criminals fearful, not to actually have a gun battle. Like in Huawei or wherever they have gun battles.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you. Well, we covered a couple of really interesting stories on today's episode of the Daily Thread. as we near Shavuos, getting ready, the cheesecake is. I spoke to Batya Khan, and she is having orders coming in for meat platters and dairy stuff and fleshik stuff, and these places are busy, 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 and it's really
Well, I
amazing.
want you to
This
know
is their
one
this is their
one of the
season.
people that supermarket people here in the Five Towns told me a long time ago that Shavuos is busier than Sukkot or Pesach. Can you imagine? Yes,
Really,
Shavuos
I can.
Shavuos is the busiest yontif in terms of food stuff. I don't know why that is. Maybe they
Why
say
is
I don't know.
that?
They say that dairy products are much more expensive than meat. I don't know if that. I don't shop. I don't
What?
shop, but I'm not a shopper. But I'm just telling you.
How you're telling me a cheese board is gonna be more expensive than a
I
meat
don't know.
board?
I don't know. We can't decide that here. We can't discuss and decide such major issues like that with our
No,
limited experience in shopping. I can't imagine you pushing a cart around the supermarket. You,
I've been to the supermarket
I've done that
plenty.
too, but not. I can't picture. I can't picture it. But
So how about this? The next time I go, I'll send you a picture of doing it, and then
but you don't know.
you could print that out.
But you don't know prices. Some people you meet, even some men you meet. I'm not talking women too, of course. A lot of people you meet know the price is cold. They know the price is cold. They know how much a roast is versus a brisket, and they know how much ziti is versus lasagna. You don't even know the difference between a ziti and lasagna, do you? But you got to be
I think you are underestimating my
your
knowledge of
your food
food
prowess.
and cuisine. I think so.
Are they serving food tonight on Eastern Parkway at the Museum?
You know what? I really don't know.
If
I really
I
don't
hope they're
know.
not, hopefully they're not, because if they are, it's going to be a mob.
No, I mean that'd be great business. I might open up a hot dog stand there tonight. You kidding me? They said they're expecting ten
Yeah,
thousand people
yeah, I hear
be
you.
to be showing up.
Well, listen, I guess there'll be a lot of Daily Thread listeners there tonight,
God willing.
Meaningful Minute people, and there'll be a lot of people there, and it's going to be a great celebration. But just back to the cheese situation, and it being very, very busy. It is a departure from the usual Yontif fare because usually people. Oh, you know what I wanted to tell you about? I was talking to a president of one of the major shuls here in the Five Towns. You know what's going on here? Shavuos night, and I don't know if in other parts of the country or other parts of the world, but Yontif night is Thursday night. I know one shul here has an entire bar set up. They have a
I you know about I want to dedicate this topic to a whole episode tomorrow where we're going to discuss the spread that some of
well.
these shuls put out.
I'll do some more research.
I remember going to shul when I was younger and we had maybe some marble
Yeah,
cake and
yeah,
soda.
yeah.
You can go
No.
get an entire carving. They get carving
They have,
stations and
right,
omelet
we'll discuss it, like
stations.
you said, we'll discuss it tomorrow, but they have a full bar with all liquors and wines, sushi bar, okay? With
Who needs to be drinking liquor and wine on
hello,
Shavuos night at 2 a.m.?
they are barbecuing. They are barbecuing all night. You want to have some brisket or a prime rib steak at 3:30 a.m.? You got it, man. You got it.
I'm just saying, you just sounded like Bernie Sanders. They are barbecuing all night. Okay, that is our episode for today of the Daily Thread. Make sure to tune in tomorrow where we're going to dedicate the entire
We have to do
episode to the
research.
food
Do
situation
some
in the
research.
shul next year. And if your shul does something extravagant, or if they do it low key, send us an email. We want to know about it. That's the Daily Thread at meaningfulminute.org. And we have really good clips and other content that the Daily Thread puts out there. So make sure to subscribe to our WhatsApp status by hitting the link in the description of this episode. I want to end off this episode by saying that a big mazel tov to Tzedek Association. Like we mentioned yesterday, they are raising money to lobby for insurance companies to pay for IVF treatments, and they have raised so far $6.8 million. They
Really?
surpassed the $6 million
Wow.
goal they set. They have almost raised $7 million. That is their bonus goal, but they have raised 114% of their original goal. So a big mazel tov to them, and hopefully that's a sign of really good things to come in the future. Nachi Gordon here with my father,
Yes.
and we are wishing you a great
Okay,
day.
see you tomorrow.
See you all
Kol tov.
later.
Bye.